Today we're doing some exploring. First order of today though, need to check out if the drone still works. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out my previous video where I actually crashed the drone in the first place. We're flying. Great! Feels good, man. Feels good. You know, if it isn't one thing failing, it is the other. The phone just died. Luckily I'm not too far away with the drone, so I'm just gonna have to land it. Didn't really have time to fly too much, but technology is a bit... Today I'm exploring a nature reserve called Ryr. It is split up in multiple locations. The two main ones that I'm going to be exploring today is called Udden and Harehalsen. First one, Udden. What I'm looking for when I'm out exploring like this is basically openings in the landscape. I want to be able to have a view out over the lakes, and then when I get down to the lakes, or when I have the view, I start to look for a foreground. It needs to have a strong foreground element in order to capture the interest of an image. So those are the most important part. First, look for the backdrop. See that there is a good backdrop, that it isn't distracting elements in the way, and then look for the foreground. A strong foreground, something that can either juxtaposition of the background, can lead into the background, or in some way be used to enhance the viewing experience, enhance the background and the image itself. I've explored Udden and I found this one place that looks awesome. I think it could be a really good landscape picture there. We have this rock formation leading straight out into the lake, and then in the middle ground we have a small little island with some grass and a tree on it, and then behind that we have a bigger island as the backdrop, and then the sky is looming above it. I planned to go out here as well, out to Harehalsen. It's starting to get quite late. It's already starting to get darker. It's a really thick cloud coverage, and it's no use exploring if you can't see in the dark. You can't see in the dark, so it's no use exploring when the sun's gone down and it is dark. And the first place that I explored took a bit longer than I expected, and this second place here is actually a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna have to do that another day. I think I'm gonna come back here tomorrow and we're gonna continue the adventure then. So that should that should work pretty good. You won't notice a thing. On this side of the reserve there aren't any markings on the trails. So I really just have to kind of guess where I'm going loosely based on a directional sense and hope to get out to the places that I really wanted to go. The fact that the sun is behind some big clouds and it doesn't show at all doesn't really help. But luckily it is a small little island this, so eventually I'm sure to get to the water. So I found the lake. Yes. Now I only have to follow it this way, to my right. And I can follow it all the way around until I come back to where I started. So far it's looking really good. It's almost like a playground, you know. All of these rock formations leading straight into the lake are these straight lines in the rocks, and that's really interesting. Those create really interesting foregrounds. But you can't really use those formations now in the winter because, well, there's snow covering the lines. So obviously you can't use them. But scouting, scouting, scouting. I'm at the easternmost point of this little island now. But anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. Eat some lunch, drink some coffee, have a bit of a good time. It's really beautiful here. It's a small mini island here. Well, it's just really beautiful. Lunch break done. I got some warmth, I got some energy. Now it's time to move on before it starts to turn dark. I'm on my way back now. We've gone through everything. My feet are kind of cold. Time to head back to the warmth. So, I'm done with exploring now. I found some really, really beautiful places. However, most of the locations, they can't have snow on them. They were only going to work when there isn't any snow. So I'm gonna have to wait until later this year when the snow melts, or if the snow melts early, I could come back earlier. One of the directions, or two, I guess, yes, two of them are facing north. One is kind of facing everywhere except west, and one southern direction, basically. So no eastern direction, which means no sunset locations really. I think I found some really beautiful things, especially some really awesome foregrounds. Backdrops are okay, but the foregrounds are amazing. So yeah, basically that's all for me this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Well, hopefully with some photography, even though the weather forecast isn't too good at the moment. Goodbye.